All right, welcome back to Ready Bet Action. We have NFL Wildcard Weekend, everybody. Super excited for this. I could not be happier that I don't get to watch the Broncos this weekend, but for a good reason this year. Last year, Stephon was in town, and we had to watch them get destroyed by the Bills while we had a hangover brunch. And it was fine. I think we had low expectations, but that was our experience last year.
I think that might be my experience this Sunday with my Jaguars, by the way. I think I might be watching us get spanked by the Bills.
Yes. We will talk about all the games at least briefly. We don't have picks on every game, and that's okay. We're here to find value in those. I am excited for some of them. We can go through real quick on, kind of how we're feeling about these. I know for myself and many Broncos fans that I know that actually watch football, I would say we just want anyone but the Texans. At least next round would be ideal to not play the Texans. Yeah. I'd be okay with them. You got to beat the best at some point, kind of a thing. But I would rather not play the Texans in the second round, the Broncos first round.
Plus, it's just more entertaining beating Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, it absolutely is. It would be an absolute blast. Stephon, if the Broncos and Jags play, who are you cheering for?
Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. I love Bo Nix. I love Troy Franklin. Not close. Let's go Jags.
I thought I'd try. Yeah. And Mike, how are you feeling about another
Falcons?
Another NFC South season where a team with a losing record wins the division.
Dude, I'm on cloud nine right now, man. Raheem Morris just got fired. It is a good week.
And do you want John Harbaugh as your next coach?
I would not hate to see John Harbaugh. I wouldn't be particularly excited about it, but I wouldn't hate it. I am sad to see Terry Fontenot go. He had nailed his last two drafts, minus the massive Kirk Cousin kerfluffle. But Raheem he wasn't the guy from day one. So I'm excited. I just hope. I sent you guys the list a few weeks ago of everybody we hired or interviewed before we hired him. I hope we don't go through that whole process again, and that we find somebody that is going to succeed and actually jump on it and not take the safe move. Be willing to take a little chance here, but yeah, man. I mean, it's nice to see, the black and blue in the playoffs get a little different flavor. That's not the Saints. See them get absolutely destroyed in round one. It'll be fun.
I love it. I was watching Bill, what's his face? Man, I am blanking on names tonight. Netflix podcast now. Was that
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Bill Nye the Science Guy. That was it. No, I was watching a sports talk show podcast, and they were talking about how they just thought this was such a great regular season, and I loved it, man. I think just as someone who has had to watch, if we're honest, man, we've had 25 years, almost 20 years of Patriots and Chiefs dominance, and to go through a season where there's no one who's like that. I personally love it, and to feel like your team, if you could have made the playoffs. If your team made the playoffs, that you have a chance. I really believe that about almost every team in the playoffs. There's a couple I'd be pretty shocked if they won the Super Bowl, but almost everybody, it's great to say that my team has a chance. And we haven't had that very often in the last 20 years of NFL football. So
yeah, dude, we've had some electric games this year.
Yes, great games,
high scoring games going to the last minute kick or overtime, and
Bill Simmons.
Oh, there it is.
Electric games. I totally agree with you. Continue.
No, I mean, it's been I think as a spectator, it's been a more entertaining season this year than it has been in a long time. Fantasy, I did not have near as much fun with this year. But from a spectator standpoint,
Yep, absolutely. Well, speaking of fantasy, if you want to do better at fantasy football next year, you should go check out our partners, RotoViz. You can still do a lot of cool fantasy football stuff here in the postseason. DFS lineups are lineups are super fun. There's a lot of cool stuff to do. They can help you with your player prop picking, those kind of things. We'll have some of those today on the show. Let's get started. We're going to talk about games first and player prop second, as usual. I'm going to be honest. I stay away from player props in the playoffs because I just think it's a different game. Y'all are braver than I am. So we do have picks for you, though. And I actually really like Stefan's player prop pick. I think that one's a lock. So we'll get to that here in a second. All right, let's start. We're just going to go in order. We'll talk about all the games in some capacity. We got the Rams, the LA Rams, who 2 weeks ago you probably would have crowned the favorite to win the whole damn thing if you had to pick someone. And now it's probably the Seahawks. But I would say the Rams are no longer as much of a favorite as they were, and you have them traveling. The 12-5 Rams are traveling to the 8-9 Panthers in Charlotte. 10.5 point favorites are the Rams, 46.5 point total. Stefan, you have the pick on this game, so I'll let you run with it.
Yeah, 10.5 points. So
that's huge. Yeah.
And I am actually I wasn't expecting to go first here. I'm just going to steal all the stats that my boy RJ White provided in this one. And it has little to do with these two teams and everything to do with a double-digit road favorite. So the last couple times this has happened, we had Tom Brady's Bucks. We had Washington Seahawks when you had a 10.5, like a 10-point road favorite, and neither time have they been able to come through. So I just think it's too many points. Also, this is just anecdotally, I was out on the Panthers this year, like most people. I did not expect anything. I have made so much money. I have not made so much money. I have won, though, most of my bets backing the Panthers because they're usually underdogs and they usually cover. Even though, like you said, they've got a losing record on the year, they're doing great against the spread. I like them to keep that trend going here. I don't think they're going to win, but 10.5 just seems like an awful lot. Carolina at home, I think, will be able to keep this one close enough. Even if it means garbage time, you've got that back door open for you. It's hard to lose by 10 in the NFL. Now, could it happen? Absolutely. But I like it enough to play it here. Not one that I would consider in a teaser because I could see if this goes sideways, this could go real sideways where the Rams end up winning 42-10. So I don't want to tease it to 16 or 17.5. Just give it to me straight. And let's hope the Panthers can surprise me again. I mean, coach of the year, in my opinion, for Mr. Candles over in Carolina. I don't know how to say his last name, but Canales
Dave
Canales.
It's gonna be hard.
He's been awesome.
Liam Cohen's gonna be there's some good coach of the year candidates here. Going on. I've said it all year in a ton of these episodes. I will always be favorable towards a West Coast, an East Coast team who gets to play at home, and a West Coast team is traveling to them. They never play as well as you want them to. So at least
it's not a 10 a.m. kickoff, right? It's at I guess it's 4:30 p.m. local time, so that helps.
Yep.
But yeah, the Panthers have just been so surprising this year. One of the things, you all were talking about fantasy football earlier, one of the things I've learned this year, I've played a lot less fantasy this year and just been more dialed into actual football. There's this whole other side of the ball called defense that makes a huge impact. It makes a huge impact on winners and losers in football. Special teams sometimes matters too. I've learned. So
it's been crazy. Years. It's been years of this podcast of me naming defensive players and Stefan, in a funny way, but also kind of seriously saying who. So here we are. Let's move on. Speaking of big defensive players that are out, we're going to the Packers-Bears game. Packers are going to Chicago. They split this series in the regular season. We got this game. Man, it is going to be hyped, man. The Bears. Can you imagine being a Bears fan? And there's going to be Packers fans there because Wisconsin is real, man. They travel, they're right down the road in Milwaukee, those Green Bay. I know it's Green Bay, but those Milwaukee fans, they're going to head right on down the highway. It's going to be an interesting crowd. But the Packers are 1.5 point favorites, total of 45.5. Mike and I both have a pick on this. Mike, why don't you start?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers Bears. I'm going to go over 45.5. I don't often bet totals. This one still just sat too low for me right now. It's gone well over this number once and then well under this number once, but the one time it went under, It was the game where both Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs got knocked out. Both of them sat last week. They're both expected to come back fully healthy. And I think the way that Ben Johnson has this Bears team playing, you're not going to pull away from them right now. Caleb Williams is looking like the guy that Stephon expected him to be all season. I got you. So I think they're going to come back, and I just think they're going to score points. I think this rivalry is always an unbelievably exciting game. And I think that just happens here with points, given more healthy Packers offense, but they're defensively, they haven't done anything. So yeah, points, go.
Yep, I will take the Bears to win on the money line. You can get them even money right now, plus 100 for the Bears to win this game. I love a good home team in the playoffs. Hyped up Bears team. I really believe that someone like Micah Parsons still being out is the difference of a win and a loss for the Packers in this game. And if you're a Packers fan, that's got to hurt. Because honestly, I'm on the other side of this. If Micah Parsons is healthy and playing, I'm probably taking the Packers to cover, 2.5 is probably what they'd be, or 3 or something like that. And I do think it's the difference. I think it's the difference. And I think the Bears win. I think they pull it off. I will be swinging around so fast to bet against the Bears next week, just for the record, because I don't think they make it past the next round. I guess I don't know what that matchup is, so I shouldn't be that bold about it. But that kind of feels like how I'm going to go with this. Yeah, it kind of feels like how I'm going to go with this one. So,
Eric, you'll be happy to know that you can get plus 106 instead of plus 100.
Heck yeah, I'll take those 6 cents.
An extra 6 pence. You're bold, man. I can't see much difference between these two teams. I won't be surprised. This is probably one of the most exciting games of the weekend. I think because of the points factor that you mentioned.
Home team.
But yeah, I'm excited to see this one. But yeah, Bears winning a playoff game, that'd be crazy.
It would be absolutely crazy. It is time for my family in Chicago. I'm not a Chicago sports fan except for the Chicago Cubs. Which is a long story, but I still I got some family there, and man, they would just be elated to get a Bears playoff win. So
just a little side comment. How bad do you feel as Eberflus right now, being so bad at the Bears, having Ben Johnson come in 1 year and beat your record, make it to the playoff, be the favorite going into the playoff game, then going to be a defensive coordinator and having the top 2 worst defense in the league right now?
I think you might have to be questioning if this is the career field for you.
Which,
am I on the right path?
I ask myself those questions every day. So
I don't know if I'm in that either. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, let's move on. We have a game. Let's talk about a game briefly that we don't have picks on, but we do need to talk about Stephon's. The next 2 games, actually, we do not have picks on. So let's go to Sunday morning, 1 p.m. Eastern, Bills, Jaguars. Buffalo is favored by 1.5, a total of 51.5 points. Stephon, do you think your Jags win this game?
No, I think Buffalo rolls. I think Buffalo wins pretty easily. However, I'm not betting against the Jaguars because I've lost so much money betting against my team this year. It sucks. That is the worst feeling in the world when you're just refuse to back your team. They continue to win and you just continue to lose money. So that sucks. So I'm not going to bet against them, but I do think the Bills end up winning. The other reason I'm not betting against them is like all the bookies that I like to follow and like read their content and all them, they're all behind the Jags. So people are bought in. I'm not. Now, I wasn't bought in when Blake Bortles brought us to the AFC Championship game either. So it takes a lot for me to buy into this Jacksonville team. But I will be rocking my Trevor Lawrence jersey on Sunday. Yes. So that's good.
Yes. No, that's great. I think that is great. I would also have a hard time picking against Josh Allen in the playoffs before the AFC Championship being the key. And he's not playing the Chiefs this year, so I'd have a hard time picking against Josh Allen in the playoffs. Mike, any thoughts on that game before we move to this Niners-Eagles game?
No, I lean Bills. They've scored 132 points in the last 4 games. That's going to be hard to keep up with, even though you're at home in the warm weather. That's going to help both teams more than anything, I think. So I just lean the team that has the playoff experience right now.
Yep.
A player prop that I really liked for this one was a Jackson. I'm not taking it, but like Trevor Lawrence, anytime touchdown is at like plus 205. He's got 9 rushing. He's got 9 rushing touchdowns on the year. So He's got the third most red zone carries in the NFL, I think, of quarterbacks. So anyway.
Awesome. Well, let's move to the 4:30 p.m. game on Sunday. The Niners going to Philadelphia. Another West Coast team heading all the way east. Man, that's tough for the Niners. We don't have picks on this game. My initial take here is the Niners defense looks really bad, but the Eagles offense looks very bad as well. And I think if the Eagles offense looked even a little more competent than they have, I would be all over the Eagles here. So I would still, if I'm picking winners, I'm picking the Eagles to win. Y'all have any thoughts here? I just don't think this Niners team is the most full team Shanahan has had. And I think that, especially on the defensive side, it's really showing.
I lean Niners for that same exact reason against the Eagles.
Because their offense is that, like, which one's worse, the Eagles offense or the Niners defense?
Dude, I just think, I mean, Brock Purdy, what was it in like prior, like week 15, 16, 17, he had 11 touchdowns or something like that. Like, he's kind of playing at the peak of his career right now. He's proven to be that dude. It took me 5 years, but I'm finally starting to move a little bit over here. But you know, I mean, it's hard to say though, because Philly's defense is so damn good and they're playing in Philly and it's such a tough play to play. So I'm staying off of it for that reason. But the Niners right now just kind of feel like that team that just has found a way to find a win every time they go through and play a game. So I lean Niners, but I'm not playing it.
Yep. Stefan, this is the worst team coming out of the NFC West this season. Anyways, how do you feel about, well, I guess, you know, Rams and Niners have the same record. Like I said, the Rams kind of tailed off and, you know, who knows?
I like the Eagles a lot in this one. It was on the card, but I just took it off last minute because, like, you know what? I've been betting too much. I probably will bet it, of course. I like Eagles minus 3.5 in this one. I think the Niners are just too banged up. Again, I didn't feel confident enough to actually make it a show bet, but I lean Eagles.
Eric, before we get too far ahead, I'm going to go back to the game we just talked about, the Buffalo-Jacksonville game. I'm going to go over 51.5. Both of these offenses are playing way too good right now. Let's go points.
Let me add that here to the card, and we got
I can add it while you talk. I got it up.
Okay, perfect. I will let you do it. I'll go back to what I was doing. We're going to move on to the next game. I do have a play in this game, but it is a part of the parlay for the last game. So we got Chargers, Patriots. Patriots are 3.5 points. This is a Sunday night game. 3.5 point favorites in Foxborough. Total 46.5. Honestly, I'm not a believer in the Chargers. Maybe I'm a hater because my team's in the AFC West. It has nothing to do with the last game. Like, we can just throw that game away. Like, that doesn't even count as a Chargers game. I understand that. But from what I've seen out of the Chargers, again, traveling to the East Coast, I don't see it happening. I think the Patriots, I'm finally admitting, are better than I thought they were. And I think they're a really legitimate team. If I had to pick a team today coming out of the AFC to go to the Super Bowl, my pick would be the Patriots, which I hate. And it pains me because we literally just said at the top of the show, Patriots and Chiefs dominance for 20 plus years. And I hope it doesn't happen. And I hope that because they have a rookie, this is a year they slip up. So anyways, I think the Patriots win. And that's part of a money line I have. And I'll tie that with the Texans money line, which we'll get to here in a minute. But do you all have any thoughts on this game? I'm not, again, a very, very banged up Chargers team. Like, people talk about coach of the year and have put Harbaugh in that conversation because winning 11 games with how injured they are since literally the preseason, they had their best players just going down left and right, has been actually impressive. I don't think that translates to going and beating the Patriots in New England. Okay, I'll stop now.
I think Vrabel is coach of the year. That's my personal pick. To see what he's done in 1 year with Drake May is unbelievable. I'm with you. I think the Chargers are still just too banged up. That offensive line has not been able to do enough to let Justin Herbert do his thing all year. So I'm going to lean Pats. No play for me. If I played anything, it would probably be an under. But that number is kind of like right where I want it to be, so I'm not going to touch it.
Stefan, any thoughts on the Pats Chargers game?
Yeah, lean under as well. Probably will play it. I also lean Chargers. You know what's better than Vrabel? Harbaugh squared. Who was just fired by the Ravens and has nothing else to do but then talk to his brother about how they just faced off against this team. So that's not, I mean, that's only partially serious. I think I think the Chargers are a very good defense. They've only allowed 120 game performance in their last 10 outings. I think Drake May, rookie quarterback, while I love him, Drake Mazing, let's go. I think he comes back down to earth just a little bit in this one. I don't love it enough to play it, obviously. I don't have a play on this game. But if I were, I lean Chargers. I'll probably do like a little money line Chargers and the under little parlay at like plus 300 or something like that, just to have some action in it. But nothing I'm really betting on. So
I love it. As a Broncos fan, I'm not scared of the Pats. I think that matchup's really good for the Broncos, actually. But I would love to see the Chargers or Steelers. So I hope you're right. I would love to see the Pats get knocked out early. Let's talk about the game that I am scared of, and maybe I'm just like hopping on the train of everyone says they're scared of this team. Or that Houston Texans defense is insane. And like, I thought the Broncos had the best defense. They do not. The Houston Texans have the best defense in the NFL. And it's like scary to watch. Like, it is really good. And so I'll just throw on the Texans to beat the Steelers. The Steelers, I think, barely got across that line. So I got the Patriots and the Texans to both win, get to a plus 149 money line parlay. I like both of those teams to win. However, you two are on opposite sides of who's covering this spread. So, Stefan, why don't you start?
Yeah, so I am notoriously anti-Pittsburgh. I hate the Steelers, hate Aaron Rodgers. I like the Ravens. Give me the Steelers plus 3.5. Houston.
Tomlin as a dog, man.
Just because you hate him.
Just because I hate him. And Houston, Houston's defense has been good. They've given up plenty of 20-plus point games this year, though. They've had some misses. Jacksonville, they had to score 28 points, 29 points in the fourth quarter to beat Jacksonville earlier this year. Like, Houston has its issues of its own. I think they've been on a roll. They've gotten hot, but the playoffs are a different ball game altogether. In Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, who I think is an overrated coach. I would hate if he was the coach of my team other than the wins, because he plays way too conservative. But if you're taking an underdog at home, a conservative coach is sometimes exactly what you want, because the one thing he would rather lose the game by 3 points than risk winning it by 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to play it tight, and I like that in this one. So I'm going to take Steelers plus 3.5. Close my eyes and throw up while I watch this game. And
Tomlin as an underdog it's like the best coach at the NFL as an underdog, though. Like, so it's not a bad pick. But Mike, why is that not going to happen?
I'll agree with Safer here for a second and say that as a Falcons fan, if we hired Mike Tomlin tomorrow, I would be pissed.
TJ Watt's coming back, DK Metcalf. When you can get people with initials as first names back on your team, that's when you're going places.
All right, here's my reason. It's 7 quick one-liners. In the last 9 games, they've won 9 straight. They have 30 sacks. That's first in the NFL. They have 200 quarterback pressures. That's first in the NFL. And Aaron Rodgers is a freaking statue. 16.7 pass yards. That's wrong. I think it's 160.7 pass yards. That's first in the NFL. 14 takeaways, third in the NFL. 26.5 points per game scored offensively, third in the NFL. Only 19.3 points per game allowed. That's second in the NFL. And screw you, Aaron Rodgers. Give me the Texans -3.
Yep. I like it. I think the Texans, I honestly throw out their first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. I'm just throwing away here and looking at the rest, and it is
once CJ Stroud got back from injury, as good as Davis Mill played while he was out, it felt like they flipped a switch a little. I'm also a big D'Amico Ryans fan here, so that could be playing this as well. But I'm big on the Texans this week.
Who?
That guy, Ryans.
Who?
That guy,
that guy.
By the way,
No
you can get
coach.
-2.5 here.
Oh, you're a good opponent right now.
I do like the fun stuff that like so there's like stats to do with like age and record and like all these things, and like young head coaches typically don't. I don't know. We saw Sean McVay do it not too long ago. I think D'Amico Ryans is primed, man, to have a great playoff run. Let's pull up player props though. We will keep it moving here. Like I said, I tend to stay away. I find playoff dynamics scary. Maybe I'm a coward for player props here. I just think the dynamics change so much in the playoffs. It's really hard to say, well, this is what happened in the regular season, so now this is going to happen. But I'm sure there's plenty of money to be made in the playoffs, and you all are going to tell us how it happens. So, Stefan, you have the first one.
Yeah, so let's talk about Justin Herbert. And so what he did in the regular season and what he's going to do in the playoffs. No, I like Justin Herbert's over 26.5 rushing yards. The Bills, not the Bills, the Patriots defense, I think can be got on the ground. We've seen Justin Herbert show a willingness to run this year. He's been extremely good, even with a broken hand. Now that he's had a little bit of time off, I think, and it being like a must-win situation, I think we see him use his legs when he needs to. I like this number. It's so low at 26.5.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a safe play. It may not hit, but I think 70% of the time this one hits. The number just felt too low to me. So 26.5 for Justin Herbert's rushing yards.
I do like the idea of a quarterback being like, I'm in the playoffs. I got to put this on my shoulder, so I'm going to take off and run. Like you saw Bo Nix do that last week. If we needed that one seed, he did the same thing. Yeah.
And Mike mentioned the offensive line being a little bit banged up. So, when that pressure comes, I think Herbert's got the vision. He's shown his elusiveness where he can get out of the pocket and get some yards scrambling. So, I like this one an awful lot.
Your next prop, I alluded to at the beginning of the show. I think this is a lock. This is the one I would bet. This is the prop I'm betting this weekend if I'm betting props.
So if you want this one, I bet it already because there's no way this one stays at 125. Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown is at -125.
Yes.
Earlier this year, this one was at -250 for an anytime touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. I know he's banged up. I know the San Francisco 49ers offense looked dreadful. If they score a touchdown, it's going to be because Christian McCaffrey is getting involved. He is their offense right now. Yep. And the great thing is, even though his rushing efficiency has been pretty crappy, he's going to get the goal line work, but he's also such a threat in the receiving game that you really do have so many different ways this can hit. At close, I mean, this is the closest you're going to get to even money for a Christian McCaffrey touchdown. And against the Eagles, who's like their defense has been good, but I think they're gettable. I just don't. I can't not play this.
I totally agree. I think -125, that's a killer value to have the 49ers top weapon. And Mike just talked all about Brock Purdy, and we're going to get Christian McCaffrey the ball for sure. All right, Mike, you're up.
Yeah, I was trying to find what his numbers were at different books, but I couldn't find it. I'm going to go to that Bills game that I just took the last minute over on. Give me Dalton Kincaid over 32.5 receiving yards, my Utah boy, -118. When he is healthy and on the field, he is hands down the number one receiver for this team. He looked super healthy last week against the Jets. He has hit this number in every single game except for one when healthy. Given the fact that I apparently love points in this game, this feels like an easy lock to me when he's on the field healthy. So, yeah.
A question for you, because I had this one on my sheet too, and the best number I found that was at 35.5. How do you feel about 35.5?
I'd still probably play it. I think at that point he would have only missed 3 on the season. So,
yeah.
Awesome. I think it was on Hard Rock when I saw it last.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have access to Hard Rock, so that's fair.
My next one, I'm going to go back to that Rams game. Give me Kyren Williams over 65.5 rushing yards at -120. I drafted Kyren this season and then I traded him fairly quickly, like 4 weeks in. And I kind of regret that. He's like that dude that it's like, he never has the sexiest stat line you think, and then you look and it's like, oh shit, Kyren was awesome. And he's kind of done that, over the second half of the season. He was averaging around 50 to 60% of the snap share, splitting it almost close to even with Blake Corum. But The last 2 weeks of the season, that jumped to 71%. Now you're playing the Panthers, who are giving up 124 yards per game on the ground. Even if Corum plays, he only needs half that number to hit this. So 65.5 just felt a bit too low for me at -120.
Yep.
I think
love
since
that.
November, he's only missed this twice. Mike.
Yeah.
Kyron, he's been sneaky great.
13 games this season, he's hit it, and then he's hit 5 straight.
Yeah, big reason for the Rams' success.
Yeah, I looked at his touchdown number. It's -135 to kind of give you a comparison with where Christian McCaffrey is at. So I liked it as well, but didn't play it. But I think Kyron could have a huge game.
All right, let's run it down. We made it to the end of the show. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and over on Instagram. Also, if you're listening to us over on RotoViz, you can find us over wherever you get your podcasts, or you can go find us on RotoViz and go check out all their awesome fantasy football tools. So let's break it down. NFL Wildcard Weekend. I'll get us started. I have the Bears on the money line to beat the Packers, and then I have a bit of a money line parlay here. Give me the Patriots and Texans to win. That's going to get you a juicy +149. Stefan.
Yeah, and in a completely upside down universe, I'm going to take 2 underdogs. We're going to go Panthers +10.5 at home and Steelers +3.5 at home.
I'm going to take the Packers and Bears over 45.5. Give me Texans -3 at the Steelers, and then give me the Bills at Jaguars over 51.5.
That's it. That's how we're going to make money. Go check out the college football episode. We made picks on the college football playoff games, and we will see you all. Wait, someone has a
player props.
Oh, man. There it is. I almost forgot halfway. So now we can run through player props, which we just did, but I still totally forgot to run down. All right, Stefan, player props, go.
Yeah, we're going to take Justin Herbert over 26.5 rush yards at -115, and we're going to take a Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown at -125.
I'll wrap us up with a Dalton Kincaid over 32.5 receiving yards and Kyron Williams over 65.5 rushing yards at -120.
And that is it. And we will see you all next week. Let's go have some fun watching football. We got a few weeks left. Let's enjoy it. We'll see y'all later.